I am so excited for today's video. Today's video is going to be an unboxing video, and I am so stoked about what's in this box right here. 5 years ago, I think, 4 or 5 years ago, 4 years ago, I sat on this very couch in a different apartment and unboxed my Northern Telecom Norstar 6x16 telephone system. I bought this as is, untested. Seller didn't know anything about it. It's bigger than I thought it would be. This is a Northern Telecom Norstar PBX model 6x16, which has turned out to be one of the coolest and most rewarding projects I have ever undertaken. Procuring, learning about, and getting working a Norstar telephone system. Well, in today's video, I am on this couch once again, and we are doing something similar. In this box is a Northern Telecom Norstar compact ICS, which was one of the last and most modern and featured of all the Norstar systems. Somebody who's a viewer of the channel got in contact with me and offered me this Norstar compact ICS with extra stuff for a really good price. There is about probably $400 to $500 worth of equipment in this box, and he sold it to me for way less than that, and I could not refuse it, and I am so appreciative because Norstar compact ICS, so much more you can do with that than an old school Norstar like the 6x16, which I have. So I am super excited to dig into this thing. So let's go ahead and do that. I need scissors. So a big shout out to Braden, who sent me this. Braden saw my videos on the Norstar 6x16, decided he wanted a Norstar system for himself, so he bought this one. But then he procured a Northern Telecom Business Communication Manager, which was the successor to the Norstar. The BCM also uses the Norstar phones, but it's a completely different class of system. It's based on an IBM PC compatible computer, runs like an embedded version of Windows, I think. And the BCMs are super complex compared to the Norstar. So he decided he liked the BCM more than the Norstar, but he kept this Norstar compact ICS as a spare. But then he decided, man, if this BCM ever fails, I'm just going to get another BCM because he loves the BCM too much. I thought I wanted a BCM, but the complexity of it scared me out of it. And I'm very happy with the old school Norstar systems. Alright. This came from Alberta. Got some Alberta newspaper here. Oh boy, I'm so excited. Woohoo! Alright. So, starting off, there is one of the trunk cards for the compact ICS. This is one of the cards that provides the actual interface for the actual outside telephone lines. The compact ICS is an expandable system. It takes expansion cards, and this is one of them. He sent me 2 trunk cards. One of them's an old school style that doesn't have caller ID, and then another one is a newer style that does do caller ID, but it has a solid state switch to go on and off hook. So if you pulse dial on the old school style card, you hear the relay clicking like you can in the 6x16, which is cool. But on the caller ID capable card, you don't hear any clicking with pulse dialing. So it's an either or of what you want. So there's one of the trunk cards. I'll set that down right here. I'd better just check and make sure there's no note or anything. This is way smaller than I thought it would be. My Norstar 6x16 came in a box more than twice this size. But of course the 6x16 is a really long system. Alright, we've got, oh, I think this is a little bracket just to help sort the RJ21 cables. Maybe. Alright, and this is not the KSU. This is one of the extra things he threw in. It's a StarTalk Flash. This is a voicemail unit. It's a solid state voicemail unit. It hooks up to the KSU and provides voicemail for each extension, intelligent voicemail with like voice prompts, and you know, you punch in a code on your phone and it gives you step-by-step, you know, like a menu and stuff for recording your greeting and stuff. All solid state, stored on flash memory. A StarTalk Flash. This is really, really cool. And for reference sake, a Norstar 3x8 is in the same housing as a StarTalk Flash. So if you ever wondered how big a Norstar 3x8 is, it's this big. Alright. That's the inside of it. Date on this is 1999. The date on the trunk card was 1998. So this stuff's a lot newer than my 6x16. And we've got a power supply here for something. Looks like it might be for the StarTalk Flash. He did give me an RJ21 cable, which I really appreciate because the Norstar Compact ICS actually takes 2 RJ21 cables. And I only have one because the 6x16 only needs one, so he gave me this extra, which I really appreciate. Alright, and the star of the show here, there is a Northern Telecom Norstar Compact ICS. First time I've ever laid eyes or hands on one. And it's got 2 cards in it. So there's actually a, I thought I was only getting this with 2 expansion cards, but he sent it with 3. Disconnect supervision. Okay, so there's 2 of the old school trunk cards, and then one of the caller ID capable trunk cards. So I've got 3 trunk cards to play with on a machine that can only take 2 trunk cards. And the KSU uses a normal IEC power cable like a computer to plug in, so that's fine. And he did tell me that the cover is kind of screwed up, but that's okay. Something inside this. Oh. I don't like that. There's a lot of somethings rattling around inside this. Hopefully it's just plastic. He might have told me that. The warranty on this expired April of 2007. So this is this unit was in use really recently. Oh God, There's so much something rattling around. I hope it's just plastic. Holy moly. But, there you can see two RJ21 cables. The, compact ICS software card right here. Dated 2006. So it's the version 7.0, the very last software. So this is the most very modern Norstar that you could get. A compact ICS with the version 7.0 software. My 6x16 has the version 1.0 software, the launch software. So there it is, the StarTalk Flash unit with its power supply. The KSU, which has 2 trunk cards in it, and then a third trunk card. Let's see, do you need tools to... No, I think you just pry the... There's a trunk card. This card is dated 1997. The warranty expired in... What? 2019? No. 14. That's a 4. This was warranted until 2014. That's how recent this thing was in service. These are still in service. That's why these fetch so much money compared to the 6x16. There's another trunk card. So this is the newer, fancier caller ID capable card that has solid state relays on it. You can see not nearly as much discrete componentry. This is dated 2011! This was made in 2011. Wow! Really cool. And then the KSU itself. There's actually a smaller third expansion slot. I forget what that's for, but there's nothing in it. Now, what the heck is rattling around inside this? Plastic. No problem. That's fine. I'm glad it's not like a component or something. Just a chunk of plastic. Well, cool. I am just over the moon. I am just so excited right now. So I believe each of these trunk cards provides 4 lines. So this is an 8-line system, and then I believe the full software, there was, like the 6x16, there was a restricted software that actually made it a 4x8, and a full software that made it a 6x16. This card doesn't say whether it's the full or restricted software, but I'm going to assume that it's the full, which I believe gives this 24 extensions, so this is an 8x24 system. Oh yeah, that's what that's what broke off. Yeah. Yeah, he told me the cover was a bit messed up, but ideally it would go something like that. So there you go. I am just so happy right now. This is so exciting. Oh man, of all the Norstar systems that I could ever hope for, you know, to ultimately own, I think the compact ICS would be the one. It wasn't the only Norstar that had, you know, the really modern features. The 3x8 kept being made into the 2000s, so it got the, you know, either close to the newest or the newest Norstar software. And the modular ICS, the MICS, which was the biggest Norstar system, you could have like over 100 extensions on it. The modular ICS was made, into the 2000s as well. But versus a 3x8 or a 6x16, which are really basic systems, the compact ICS is super, super modern. It has so many cool features. For example, this has a built-in dial-up modem for configuring the unit. It has an internal modem that's on a phantom extension number, and if you call that extension number, the modem answers. You call it with a computer with a modem attached to it, and the modems connect, and that's one of the ways you can configure the system, is by calling into its internal modem. You can also call it from an outside line. So I could be in Timbuktu, have this thing configured for the modem to answer on a specific line, call that line, and the modem answers. Really cool stuff. This thing also has an internal ATA, an analog terminal adapter. So that's a way to use an analog phone, a normal ordinary telephone, as a Norstar extension. So yeah, really, really cool. A lot of cool things that you can do with this. It's got way more capabilities and fun toys and stuff compared to the 6x16. And then you've got the StarTalk Flash, which just is a completely other can of worms, because now you've got voicemail, per extension voicemail, individually addressable voicemail, but this also has auto attendant, which means that somebody calls, this thing will answer, and a human voice says, if you know the extension you wish to call, dial it now, or if you wish to leave a voicemail, press whatever. Like, this thing does like automatic, like, menu-based communication with outside callers. So that's two really cool things that the StarTalk unit can do. And yeah, I'm excited. So here's the catch. I don't have my Norstar phones with me. As you know, over a year and a half ago now, my ex and I got separated when the US-Canada border closed. And I had a bunch of my stuff, including my entire Norstar 6x16 system, in her house. And she promised me, after we broke up, she said, well, if my stuff would be safe, and when the border opened again, I could come get it. Great. Well, fast forward to a couple of months ago, and she messages me, and she's like, hey, I'm moving back home. Find a way to get all your shit out of my house. Well, not her house. She's moving out of it. Find a way to get all your shit out of the house. I panicked. Yeah, she freaking just, like, what seemed like a few days time span, got together with another woman and then decided to move back to where she came from to be with this woman. So she's like, yeah, I'm moving back home. Find a way to get your shit out of my house, or presumably it would go to the curb. So I panicked for a couple of days. Thank goodness found a storage unit company, and the guy understood my situation, was like, yeah, that's fine. And then my ex took all my stuff. Presumably, she wouldn't give me a photograph, but presumably, hopefully, or there's gonna be big trouble, presumably she has thrown all my stuff, including the Norstar system, in this storage unit, which is literally 5 minutes away from here, but it's in the US, so I can't get it right now. So I have no Norstar phones right now to actually use with this thing, but what I do have here, that I never took to my ex's house, I have two Norstar ATAs. These are external devices that hook up like a Norstar extension, but then you're able to plug a normal analog telephone into them and use them as a Norstar extension. So while I don't have Norstar phones here right now, I have two ATAs, and I think, of course, this thing, the configuration of the KSU is all clear now because it's only backed up with a supercapacitor. So it's going to be booting up to its factory, you know, configuration when I plug it in. And I think in its factory configuration, I should be able to hook up those ATAs and hook a telephone to each of them, and I should be able to have, those telephones should be able to call each other. So in the next video, I'm going to try just that. I'm going to wire up those ATAs, wire up some phones, we'll plug this thing in, boot it up, and we'll see if it does anything. Maybe it'll boot up in a fashion where you have to go through some settings and go through like a first boot initialization process before you can do anything. If that happens, I'm screwed because you presumably need a Norstar phone to do that with. But if this thing is like my 6x16, it should hopefully be able to just boot up into a base configuration, and with two analog telephones I should be able to call them. So we will try that in the next video on this thing. But until then, again, thank you so much to Braden, who sold me this system and all the extras for way below market value. Can't thank him enough. What a cool dude. So big props to him. And I'll have to pay it forward at some point. Maybe sell my 6x16 really cheap to a budding telephone enthusiast. That would make me feel good. Alright, thank you for watching. A big thanks to these guys right here who support me via Patreon. It is thanks to you guys that I had the means to afford this thing, even at the discounted price that I got it for. So you guys are the best, and to everyone else, thank you so much for watching. More on this to come. I'll see you guys later.